Guys, I'm in the cattle kraal and it's about 2:30 p.m. Scorching hot. But the cattle have come back from grazing and they have come to drink water. This is like their lunchtime break from feeding, and it's when they take water. When they come to drink water, they come back when they are really, really thirsty. And it's an exciting time for them. So right now they are done drinking their water and all of them are chilling. You can see them. The only thing I see them doing right now is chewing their cud. Now you might wonder why they need to come back to drink water. It's because we don't have water all over the entire farm. Before, we had water on the upper section of the farm. I think I've shown it before on the channel, where we put a pipeline all the way up and we had taps bringing water out. The problem with that though is that it uses a lot of power having to pump the water uphill. And currently we don't have that much power to spend to pump that water uphill. So since the tanks that supply this area are generally the same tanks that supply most of the rest of the farm, the water we use for consumption, it's easier to have water being pumped in one direction than have water pumped, in very many different directions. That way we can save the power. So we decided that at around 2 p.m. the cows can come back and drink their water inside here in the kraal. And that's perfect timing because again, it's at the time when the herdsmen come around to eat their food, so it's again lunchtime for the herdsmen. But maybe someday in the future, maybe 4 or 5 years from now, we shall have water spread around the entire farm, and then it will be very, very easy for us to have water everywhere. Quick, easy access for the cattle. The cattle on the farm are free-ranged, so it's not like zero grazing where we can just have water everywhere, no. So we can't have water on the entire 400 acres or maybe 300 acres that they are using to feed right now. No, we can't. So this is the best thing that we can do right now. So guys, it's really, really hot. Before I had a cloud covering over the sun, but now it has gone away. So you can see that, the shade is really what's providing the cows with shelter. That's where most of the cattle are. We have over 100 heads of cattle, about 140, and most of them are under here. They're just hiding in here, protecting themselves from the burning heat of the sun. So this is the water point, guys. You can see it right here, yeah? And we have many others like this, probably 3 or 4. And if I opened it, you'd see the water coming out, You see the water pouring, yeah? So now they are all done drinking. None of them is really thirsty, so they don't give a damn. But before that, they all come racing in for this water. Here we have manure. You guys can see the manure. It's quite some amount of manure. This is cow manure. So we collect it from, the cow shed, like over here, once every few days, maybe a week. We collect it using shovels and pour it here. A shovel and a wheelbarrow. We have another pile over there in the kraal. It's unfortunately it's too bright over there, so I won't move. And we have another pile over there with goat droppings. So we've piled them over here. We're going to be getting them out on a tractor and taking them to a garden somewhere. I don't know if I've told you guys before on the channel, but we plan on growing some coffee and a very huge plantation of bananas on the farm. And this will be perfect manure. Perfect. So we are keeping it here. In a few weeks time or in a few months time when we are using it, it will have broken down a bit more, become less acid, become something perfect. So guys, the lunch break is over right now and the cattle are moving out for their after lunch feeding. Okay, so let's go. Go! Go. And here, guys, is where the calves stay in the night. It's quite dirty, as you might see, but we're going to clean it up. That's not a problem. So this is part of our daily routine, to clean up this area where the calves stay over the night. That way they don't stay with their mothers and take all the milk, you know. And that's a problem to them too. If they take too much milk, they get milky diarrhea. So we have to prepare this place, just clean it for where the calves stay. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 rooms for the calves to sleep in. Here guys, we have the calves. You can see them in the background. Busy feeding nicely, gracefully. But here is our biggest problem, guys. These are 21 calves. But guys, out of the last 15 births, we've only had one female. Oh my God. Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. In humans, that would be a good thing, at least in African society. You know, they believe that if you don't give birth to boys, then you don't have an heir, you're cursed. If you only have girls, you don't have an inheritance. You know, the girls are going to go and they'll belong to the husband's family. So the males are the ones that, you know, really are an inheritance for us in Africa. Well, that's at least according to African belief and society. When it comes to animals, guys, you understand that it's the other way around. There's no culture in terms of animals. And of all these cattle, in about 1 year or so, they are going to be mature. If there were females and I had 15 females instead of 15 males, that means in 1 year's time, all those 15 females would probably be close to producing, and maybe 2 years later I would have lots and lots of calves. But then what's going to happen is that in 1 year's time from now, I'm going to have lots of males, and the males are just going to be sold for meat. And these are dairy cattle, guys. Well, they're not pure dairy cattle, but them being dairy cattle means that they won't grow very, very big like cattle for meat. So that means I'm going to run into trouble because they're not going to grow as quick. Of course, they're bulls, so they'll grow a bit big, but it's really a loss. Instead of having more cattle, we'll have to sell them and we'll decrease the number of cattle that we have. So ideally, what could be the cause of this problem? I've had a lot of things, you know. I tried to read up. It could be that the bulls you have only produce males. Guys, we've had the same bulls for the past couple of years and they were producing for us lots and lots of females. I don't know what happened in the past few months. Number 2, it could be that you're doing inbreeding. We have some bulls that were produced by mothers that are in the flock currently. But guys, those bulls are not the father for any of these calves. That I'm 100% certain. So that's not the reason. It's not inbreeding for us. It's not that the bulls only produce males, because in the past few years they were giving us females. And the other thing is that they say that it's caused by stress. Sometimes, you know, if the animals have lots of stress, they'll give you only males. Guys, these are some of the best looked after animals or cattle that I've seen, you know. They only drink clean water. They don't drink water from a dam. They have a fence. You guys can see the fence. Yeah, we built a fence for the calves. The cows, they are looked after by 2 very passionate herdsmen. You know, they go out every morning, given grass every morning. They come out and drink their water at lunchtime like you saw. They have water the entire night. They are given medicine in case they get ill. They are perfectly looked after. In terms of stress, I would imagine they almost have no stress at all. So guys, please tell me, what do you think the problem is? Because it's certainly not one of those 3. What do you think the issue is? We're only having males, and guys, it's not satisfying. It's just not an enjoyable and nice thing. Tell me what you think the problem is. Let me know in the comment section below. Is it just bad luck for us? Well, I don't know if it's bad luck because we're having, you know, calves produced. A new life is generally good luck, but we would prefer females to males. So what's the problem? Let me know.